Right, hello there. Here with another review of an album, which you've probably seen from the title, is one that people have been asking me to do for a while, so I thought, do you know what? Let's get it done. Because I've been promising it for a while, and I thought, I better keep my promise. This is Stone Roses, which is by the Stone Roses, funnily enough. So, yeah, let's just start zooming to go on and dive right into the album background. So, see you in a minute. The Stone Roses formed in 1983 with guitarist John Squire coming up with the name. They played their first gig on the 23rd of October 1984 supporting Pete Townshend at an anti-heroin concert at the Moonlight Club in London. The band played their first headline concert on January 4th, 1985 and soon afterwards began work on their debut single, the double A-side So Young with Tell Me. By this point, they'd started to establish a following of their own in Manchester. So after a number of failed attempts at recording their debut album, the sessions that would finally form the final release begun in June 1988 and would eventually conclude in February 1989. The band recorded at Battery Studios in London, as well as at the Kinks' studio Conk, which is also in London. Additional sessions also took place at Rockfield Studios. The sessions were produced by John Leckie. According to Leckie, the band were very well rehearsed and didn't feel they had to prove themselves as they already thought they were really good. The artwork for the album was designed by John Squire, who took inspiration from the May 1968 Paris riots, with the lemons being used in the riot as an antidote for tear gas. The Stone Roses was released May 2nd, 1989 and initially went unnoticed in the UK. Only NME and Melody Maker covered its release, and that was only due to the fact that they were covering the Manchester scene. In support of the album, the band played several high-profile gigs, including one on February 27th, 1989 at the Hacienda in Manchester, but it wouldn't be until their debut appearance on Top of the Pops in November 1989 that they'd start to receive national exposure. The album then started to grow in popularity throughout the UK, eventually leading to 27,000 fans attending the legendary May 1990 Spike Island gig. Over the subsequent decades, the album has continued to grow in popularity, with its 2009 re-release reaching number 5 in the UK charts, much higher than its original peak of 19 when it was first released. So yeah, that's the background. Yeah, I'll show you this. This is the only copy I've got. This one and only vinyl copy. Front cover, I'm sure you've all seen. Back cover, I'm sure you've all seen. Gatefold, not gatefold, sleeve. It's not a gatefold. I won't get the record out, I'm sure. By now, if you know this album, you've probably seen what the record looks like. Right, that can go on there. Tell you what, we'll complete the look. Might as well, while we're here, get the look going. Right, so, Stone Roses. This is, in my opinion, the greatest debut album of all time. If you watched my review of Definitely Maybe, I should have checked what I said before I did this, but I'm assuming I probably said in that review that Definitely Maybe is the greatest debut album of all time. I think if I remember right though, I said the only competition would be this album, which is Stone Roses, obviously. And I've changed my mind. I think this is a better album than Definitely Maybe by about that much. Not that Definitely Maybe is a bad album by any means. Anyway, it's a funny album, this, because the Stone Roses have only done 2 albums, 2 studio albums. Second Coming, I might review someday. I'm not in a hurry to do it, because I don't think it's anything special, you know, which kind of means, would you call them a one-hit wonder? Well, it's not really a hit, but do you know what I mean? This album's their only, like, album that did anything, really. Even though at the time it only got 19 in the charts, which, yeah, I thought it'd have got higher, but I suppose it was indie at the time. Re-releases, it's obviously gotten higher than that. But yeah, I want to talk a little bit about the times, because obviously when this came out, it was when, you know, the music business was going in a different direction in the 80s, like with bands like Spandau Ballet and Wham and things like that. Not that there's anything wrong with those bands, by the way, but the Stone Roses and a lot of what was going on in Manchester with the Manchester scene is like the reaction to that, a counterculture. People who are rebelling against that type of music. This is like more like 60s and 70s, kind of how music of that era would have progressed perhaps if the synthesizer hadn't come along. This feels like the natural progression of 60s, 70s rock. It's got flavours of it all over this album. So yeah, I imagine if I'd been alive in 1989 when this came out, I'd probably have been indie in my little bucket hat. I should have put my Paisley shirt on as well. But yeah, that's, what was I saying? I've lost my train of thought already. But yeah, that's basically, I think this album is sort of a reaction to what was going on at the time. Just kids from Manchester who were disillusioned with mainstream music. And yeah, it's a shame that this album didn't chart higher, but it didn't at the time. Anyway, to suggest that it is a good album is the fact that it's got 7 singles off it. 7 of the 11 tracks were released as singles, which, yeah, is, you know, there's not many albums can say that they've got that many good songs on it that we can get 7 singles off it. Again, maybe like So Definitely Maybe and Morning Glory, you could have got maybe 7 singles off that. Well, probably Morning Glory, you could release pretty much any track off that album as a single. But yeah, I'm thinking like an album like Parallel Lines by Blondie, that's got a lot of big singles on it. None of these were necessarily big singles as such, like number 1s or anything, but they all were hit singles, I would say. Should have checked. I maybe said in the background, I don't know. At the time of recording this, I haven't done the background yet because I record the review before I do the background. Little useless facts for you there. Anyway, I'm rambling on, so shall we just get into the main event, the exciting track-by-track review? Let's do that. It opens with I Want to Be Adored, which, you know, that line itself, does that not sum up pretty much everybody who doesn't want to be adored? It's a beautifully simple song, this, you know, I don't have to sell my soul, it's already in me, I want to be adored. That is literally all this song is, it's just repeating that again and again and again. But that intro, that build-up is like, something's happening here. It sounds, you can just tell from the way it's building up that something is going to happen here. And, you know, whenever I go to Manchester, I always love driving into Manchester with this song playing. You just feel like, yeah, you just feel like you're coming home. Not that I'm a mank or anything, but anyway. Yeah, it's, again, like I said, it's nothing really, musically speaking, spectacular, because there's virtually no lyrics to it. It's just 2 lines. I don't have to sell my soul, is already in me. I want to be adored, which is 3 lines, just constantly being repeated. And it works so well as an opening track. It's just, yeah, it's just the build of it, the whole, yeah, setting the vibe perfectly. To flow into the second track, which is She Bangs the Drums. Yeah, again, this is like say, just imagine you're in a concert and the lights have gone off and the band are walking onto stage. I Want to Be Adored is the song they're walking onto, and the lights just come on and then they play She Bangs the Drums. It's that sort of thing. Probably makes more sense in my head. But yeah, Hear My Needle, Hit the Groove, etc. It's just a brilliant song. It's incredibly catchy. Contender for my favourite on the album. Probably going to say that about virtually every track on this. But yeah, yeah, She Bangs the Drums. I love this song so much. Yeah, it's probably, yeah, might be my favourite on the album. Second, third. It's definitely my top three. After that, Waterfall. So the riff on this song from John Squire is brilliant. He's a really underrated guitarist, really. I don't think he gets the recognition he deserves, because a riff on here, it's incredibly catchy. You know, that ding 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 ding. Yeah, it's a brilliant song. She carries on through it all. She's a waterfall. Again, it's a great song. Yeah, there's not really a lot to say. I mean, what is there to say about Waterfall that hasn't been said already? It's a classic, really. It's an anthem. It's a classic. Yeah, and it flows right into Don't Stop, which is a bit 60s, this one. It's a little psychedelic sounding. Yeah, it's a bit, not necessarily trippy, but yeah. It does sound very 1967, very dreamy, sort of Sergeant Pepper era sort of thing, Satanic Majesty's Request, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, again, it's just a nice tune. I think up till this point, this is track 4, it's the weakest of the 4 tracks so far. It's possibly the weakest on the album, but you know, I'm just trying to be critical of something about this album, which would be this. Yeah, it's not a bad song by any means. It's just, I wouldn't even call it filler. There's no filler on this album, but if I had to be like really, really critical and pick something as filler, probably this. Yeah. But yeah, great tune nonetheless. I think it's, yeah, great. Bye Bye Bad Man is track number 5. Yeah, I really like this song, the guitar on this one. You know, I think it's got a great chorus. It's quite a quiet song, this one. And then it's a bit like I Want to Be Adored. It's got a bit of a build on it again. Yeah, the lyrics, I don't know. I just, you know, I've got bad intentions and stuff like that. I intend to shoot you down. Think of the lyrics. I might be wrong. I always do this when I'm on camera. My mind goes blank. Not that there's anything in there. But, yeah. Bye Bye Bad Man. Bye Bye Bad Man. Bye Bye. Sorry, I won't sing. But yeah, it's a catchy chorus. Great vocals from Ian Brown. Bye Bye Bad Man. Yeah, great tune. Elizabeth, My Dear is next. I know a lot of people will say this is the filler on the album, but I like this song. My biggest gripe with this song is it's not long enough. It's like, well, it's only like 50 seconds long. It's like, please be longer. You know, please don't end. It's quite White Album sound in this. It wouldn't sound out of place with some of the stuff that John Lennon was writing around the White Album, or on Plastic Ono Band, for example, albums like that. You know, with the guitar work on it. Yeah, and I don't know. Again, you know, White Album, Elizabeth, My Dear, Martha, My Dear. You know, similar sort of thing. Yeah, it's like, it does sound a bit Beatles, this song, even if it is only 50 seconds. But then isn't that what the Beatles were brilliant at? Short, catchy songs. Song for My Sugar Spun Sister is next. Again, this is quite 60s, you know. I don't know why it reminds us of sort of bubblegum pop, like Sugar Sugar or My Boy Lollipop or things like that. It's nothing like them songs. It's maybe just because of the title, but yeah. It's a catchy song, as is pretty much everything on this album. It's a catchy chorus. Yeah, it's a good... Please excuse the barking dog. Next door's dog has decided to start barking, which I assume you can hear. But yeah, yeah, it's just a good tune. Sugar Spun Sister. I really like it. Made of Stone is next. This is the best on the album. This is my favourite song. As far as choruses go, you do not get better than this chorus, really. I don't think, you know... Shut up, dog, please. Yeah, choruses are arguably the most important thing of a song. It's the thing that most people remember. And as far as choruses go, this is as memorable as it can get, really, you know. Sometimes I fantasize when the streets are cold and lonely. It just sounds like, you know, it's not necessarily at this time of year, but in the winter, when you're walking through the streets with your headphones on and this song playing, you just feel indestructible. Like nothing can stop you. And yeah, it's a great song, Made of Stone. It's definitely my favourite on the album. I love it to bits. Yeah, it was possibly the first Stone Roses song I heard this as well, actually. Probably the song that got me into them. And I can remember the first time I heard this album, a good few years ago now, this was the song that grabbed me the most to begin with. Love it, man. Shoot You Down comes next, which is, yeah, it's a quiet song. Yeah, it's a great tune. Shoot you down, man, I'm gonna shoot you down. Yeah, not a lot to say, it's a quieter one. It's kind of coming down a bit from Made of Stone. This is the come down from it. I intend to shoot you down. Yeah, nice tune, not a lot to say. This is the One comes next, which I don't really care all that much for this song, to be honest. I don't mind the outro where it keeps chanting, this is the one, this is the one, but I think it goes on a bit too long, this song. It kind of outstays its welcome a bit for me, this song. But, you know, it's not a bad song by any means, but yeah, it's alright, I suppose. And then finally, the closing track, I Am the Resurrection. If Made of Stone wasn't on this album, this would be my favourite. Just that build. You know, the drums from, yeah, the drums on this song, they're just incredible, really. And then when the bass kicks in and the down, down, you bring me down. Yeah, it's just, it's out this world, really. Yeah, the lyrics are great. And I can remember, this song always reminds me of Liam Gallagher when he did his MTV Unplugged on Hull, in Hull. I was at that gig, never mentioned it. And before he came on, this was the song that played and it just got the crowd going. It's just, everybody started bouncing to it. And I'm sure everyone will have seen the video of when Liam played Manchester Cricket, what is it, the Old Trafford Cricket Ground or whatever it's called, when this came on before he came on, and the way the crowd is singing it. Yeah, it's a great song, it's a classic, it's an anthem. It doesn't really get much better than this. Yeah, again, you know, the outro, some people don't like it because it goes on forever. But I like it. I think it's a great outro. It's a great way to end the album. Yeah, I Am the Resurrection. Could never bring myself to hate you as I'd like. So yeah, that is it. That is the Stone Roses, in my opinion, the greatest debut album of all time. As far as debut albums go, you can't really get much better than this. So yeah, that's that really. Not much else to say. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you soon. Hopefully, all things go well, if everything goes well. So yeah, see you soon. Bye bye.